Hey everyone, welcome back to the Legacy Years, the podcast. And today I am excited to welcome DJ Juan with Seniors Helping Seniors. DJ is the owner, general manager of franchise here in the area where I live. And we're going to talk about a topic that I think is important. And when you think about living your life to the fullest, unfortunately, employment is part of that. And we think about retirement and we don't think about working again, but a lot of people choose to work for various reasons. And so we're going to kind of walk through what that might look like in retirement and a unique opportunity that you might have to seek employment. So, DJ, thank you for being here on my podcast today, and tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
First, thanks, Christy, for having me on. It's such a pleasure to be here. So, as you said, my name is DJ Wan. I'm the owner of Seniors Helping Seniors. This is a business that started about 2.5 years ago after spending my entire career in the corporate IT world. And it has been nothing short of just a blessing for me to have this opportunity to really to be out there to help, you know, seniors in our community, not only for those people who need care, but most importantly, that's the focus of our topic today is to help seniors to find the right opportunity to help others, the employment opportunities. So yeah, I'm super delighted to be here.
Yeah, when I heard you speak, and I knew you and I had known each other, but when I heard you speak and you talked about this part of it, I was like, wow, that really grabbed my interest and I wanted more people to hear about it. So let's talk about the idea of employing seniors to help other seniors and kind of what inspired you to really resonate with that.
Yeah, it all started. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
It all started with our co-founder, whose name is Karen Yukon, in 1998. That's when the company Seniors Helping Seniors started. And Karen is an immigrant from India. So when she came to the US, settled down in Pennsylvania, she was already in her 50s. One day she fell at the house and she needs senior care. And that's when she realized how broken our system is. As a result of that experience, she started a nonprofit organization called Seniors Helping Seniors, based on the recognition that you don't have to rely on people, the younger ones, to take care of the senior ones, but rather there's a tremendous potential for seniors themselves, the active senior, to help others, because the fact that they have shared life experience to really know what compassion is about. And the interesting thing about Karen is that before she came to the US, she spent 14 years as a right hand person for Mother Teresa. And when I heard her story, as I was looking for the right opportunity, I said, well, I don't have to look any further. This is it, right? So we embody Mother Teresa level of compassion, about respect for people less, more the vulnerable ones, right, including the seniors, and dignity. That's the most important thing. That's where seniors really bring to the table is that their understanding of what the other seniors are going through, and to be able to show a lot of empathy you know about just day in, day out what they're going through, right? So that all comes through when you have seniors take care of other seniors.
I think what a unique opportunity to know someone who worked with Mother Teresa. That's amazing. I love that story. So, why is continuing to work, whether it's part time, flexible, or even volunteer, why do you think that's so important for older adults?
Well, first and foremost, retirement or as you get older is doesn't mean that stop working. I think the most important thing is about giving people a purpose and give them a reason to get out of the house. And the reason in this case is I always call it a missionary in the sense that you are helping others who need a care. So having a purpose, research has shown that you really give them meaning to life and help them stay healthy both mentally as well as cognitively. So uh, also the other part is social engagement. A couple years ago, there was a study by Surgeon General indicating that isolation and loneliness is a national epidemic, and that cuts across all age categories, and certainly for seniors as well. So be able to help others coming out of the house, go to the community, enable them to connect with people in the community. The social engagement part is so important. And so the combination of those, right, purpose and social engagement, not to mention also we pay people for doing such work as well. The extra income also helps, but even though it's not the primary reason people come to us.
Right. It's not a benefit to take lightly, though. So, yeah, a little extra income
Yeah.
is not anything to turn your nose up at. So, what do you think are some common misconceptions people have about older adults and work?
Well, the first and foremost is that, people obviously through their life, they work very hard, they get to a point of retirement, they say, well, the number one misconception is that people, retirement means stop working. That's not true, right? And typically people just maybe take the first month or two and then realize I'm bored. They need something. That really give them reason to get up and look forward to the next day, right?
Yeah.
So I think the retirement doesn't mean stop working. Okay, that's number one, right? So and the other thing is that so seniors are not, not all seniors are the same, right? They're active seniors, they're people who need help. So for most seniors, even after retirement, with the improvement of technology, just nutrition, everything, people even in their 80s, they're still very active. They have, they're capable. So not all seniors are equal. So they have another thing to offer to the community. So, and then the other thing, they can, their life experience really can provide another benefit to others in terms of caregiving. And the last part is has to do with technology. So a lot of people think that seniors are not willing to learn. That's not true because I've been to another community centers where people are taking courses, learning about AI and technology and so on. So there's just a lot of exciting opportunities about seniors that a lot of people tend to not pay much attention to.
I love that. And I remember when I heard you speak about this, one of the things that really caught my attention was something that you said about matching your employees with their capabilities. And can you talk a little bit about that? Because you mentioned the physical, so, every senior is not created equal, but that doesn't necessarily mean just because they can't do everything that they couldn't find employment. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely, because each person is different, right? So the number one thing is to understand both the caregivers, the people who are looking for opportunity to employment, understand what the limit, what their capabilities are, and then find the right opportunity for them, right? So I see my role and then my team's role is matchmaking. So really understand what they have to offer and obviously understand what the client needs are and try to make sure that's a perfect match. Take a physical ability as an example, right? So as people get older, driving could be a risk, huge risk for them. So I have to make sure that knowing where my senior caregivers their driving capabilities in general, as a rule of thumb, I don't want to put them you know far distance from where they live. So 5 miles radius, that's about my limit. That's considering the limitation of driving, especially given the traffic in our metro area, and also just not driving at nighttime, for example. So that's number one thing, right? The second thing is physical is while most of our clients and families come to us, the kind of care they need not super heavy. I try to stay away from very high acuity situation, but still there are cases where the client may need some lifting transfer, for example, from bed to wheelchair. So knowing what my senior caregivers limit in terms of just lifting, sometimes it's not lifting, it's assisting, they may still not feel comfortable with, right? So
Yeah.
that's another thing. So those are a couple examples in terms of physical limits. The other part has to do with the matching on the personality side, because there are certain people that are very bubbly, outgoing type versus people who are introvert, more thoughtful. And again, the way I see it, caregiving is relational. So it's just like in any other relationship, you want to make sure that compatibility of temperament personality, it has to be in there. Okay, so that's part of my job to make sure they're super compatible, and not to mention the experience, personal interest, and so on. So we inventory all the information on both sides, and then our job is to make sure that we mesh them together, and it's a good experience for both parties.
Yeah. I probably never thought you'd be in the matchmaking business.
Never idea.
So, what types of roles or tasks do your senior team members typically take on? What are the typical duties that they might be performing?
Yeah, most of the families come to us is their, loved ones. They need some companionship, right? And that's number one thing. Is a lot of people they either they live by themselves, even if they live with their kids. The kids are working during daytime, so during those hours they need some help. Just provide somebody to be there, keep an eye on them, make sure they're safe, they do not fall. So I think I would say companionship is foundational to our model. Just have an eye on the seniors while they're moving around in the room. But the other part has to do just any night housekeeping, right? So from meal preparation, just keep things dust off things, keep things organized, and so nothing heavy duty. And taking seniors out for a walk or go to a social event, I encourage my caregivers to take seniors to like senior centers to
Oh, yeah.
enjoy a bingo game or doing anything, or go to a shopping center, go to a park. So another do things, or take them to some running some errands or doctor's appointment. Transportation is part of our service, and so on. So a lot of those just day to day, we call it ADLs or activity daily living, and really to be there to provide kind of some assistance to make sure they're safe, they're worry free from the perspective of their loved ones. They know that they're in good hands with us. So yeah, it's just day to day things, very common
Yeah.
activities.
So, is this something that someone can do just a few hours a week, or do you require more hours, or what does that look like?
Well, yeah, it's a super flexible. It all depends on what the the seniors have in mind, right? I always want to start with the fact that seniors they already retired, they earn their lifestyle, right? So they have a lifestyle. This one is just an add-on to help enrich their lifestyle. So when I do interviews with my caregivers, so number one, how much availability do you have? 5 hours, 3 hours, or 15 hours, and so on. So on average, I would say my senior caregivers they're probably under 10 hours. So and it's just give them almost a break from away from their day-to-day kind of routine and just really bring a new dimension to their everyday life.
So, does someone need experience doing this kind of work, or do you guys train them? What qualifiers are you looking for?
Well, the number one qualifier is having the heart for
Mm.
seniors, have the passion for them. I think that's number one, probably the most important thing I'm looking for. Aside from that, no prior experience required. Although most seniors come to us, they already have some level of experience taking care of their loved ones, their parents or grandparents. So it's not blank sheet of paper, but they do have their personal care experience. But we do provide very systematic training. We have a state-of-art training curriculum with a care academy. So if they want to have a refresher, for example, how to take care of somebody who has early stage dementia, so their state-of-art kind of advice or best practice they can learn through a very short, a half an hour course.
That's great. So, what do you think makes this peer to peer support so unique and powerful in caregiving?
It comes, as I said, caregiving, our view, the philosophy, the foundation of our model is that caregiving is relational. It's not transactional in the sense you bring somebody into your family and have a laundry list of things for them to do. But it's relational. It means, just like in any other relationships, you really have to find some common ground between the person who is giving you the care versus the person who is receiving it. So when you have a senior caregivers, they share a lot of life experience with care recipient. That's the beginning of it. So that enables them to more easily build rapport, trust, and a deep level connectivity. They can share stories about their experience. They may have the same sports team, for example. So it's just making them feel that they are connecting at a much deeper level, as opposed to you send somebody who's 20-year-old, 30-year-old. There's different generation that may speak different language, right?
Yeah.
So it's all about building that kind of deeper level trust, and then comes with that is about the respect, the dignity, the empathy, understanding what the other person is going through. So you really feel like you are forming a bond and a friendship, right? Which is, just like you and I talking, right? So this is very important, making feel like they are not, one generation take care of the other generation. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a very subtle, but it works like a charm. I can assure you that.
Yeah. I could see why it would. I do think there's some comfort in that. And it's funny because even myself, when I think about choosing a doctor, you know, it's important to me that they're female. It's important to me that they're a little bit older. So we do inherently have those things that we think about when we're adding people to our lives.
Absolutely, comfort level. I mean, you
Yeah.
nailed it, right? It's all about that comfort. I so people just, I mean, when I tell them what our mother is about, I mean, people just naturally gravitate into it because it's everybody can understand that from our own personal experience.
Yeah. Can you think of one story? I'm sure you can think of many, but can you think about one story that really captures the true heart of what you guys do?
Absolutely. So I always love to use one example. My oldest caregiver, Joanne, she's 83, and it's funny. Before she came to us, she was volunteering at her church. And then she came to us, and every family I put her into, people just love her. I still remember this one family, and so Peggy, who has early stage dementia, and she has two daughters. Both of them are healthcare workers. So when they came across our name, and I remember one of them talked to me. She said, "Yeah, this, just from the name itself, I can tell your model just works, right?" So she said, "I already had an appointment with another agency, but I'm going to cancel that one. I'm going to have you come over." So I went over for home visit. I mean, again, we didn't even have to spend much time to get into the details, but it's just, they signed the paperwork right away, and then she told me that her mom is the one who would really hesitating about having an outside caregiver, strangers coming into the house. So and said, well, just give us a chance, okay? So I have a perfect caregiver whose name is Joanne. She's literally down the street, less than 5 minutes away from you. So, but yeah, after the first shift, as part of my custom way of doing things, I talked to both of them. I talked to Kelly, who is one of the daughters, and she told me, my mom is one who was just reluctant to accept this, but after the first shift, I saw the biggest smile on
Oh,
mom's face in her recent memory. Yeah. And that's, to me, is just making a world difference. And then I talked to Joanne. Joanne said, well, I mean, Peggy just got sent. I mean, we got along so well. To our end of the session, they're starting to pray together. I mean, that's
well,
just amazing. So that's just one example. And then a few months later, I got a referral from a family from Alan. The daughter just called us. They specifically asked for Joanne. Apparently, the previous family has, spreading the word for us, saying how great Joanne is. So, yeah, I mean, Joanne she's just embody the kind of spirit, the essence of what we do.
you need more Joannes.
Yeah, I do. I do. I have quite a few of them, actually.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, if you could give some advice to a retiree who maybe is feeling the need for more purpose or connection, what advice would you give them?
I think first, find your passion, okay, something that align with your heart, right? If take care, it doesn't have to be take care of seniors, but obviously, in what we do is the first thing is it's do you feel passionate about taking care of other seniors, right? So that's first and foremost the important thing. So whatever that passion is, that should be your guiding post. And then once you find your passion, then start small. Okay, don't try to boil the ocean, and just get yourself into it and get your foot into the door. Test it out just to see how that works, and then once you get a feel that your assumption about it is aligned with your actual experience, then you can start to ramp up, right? So for you know, and then of course talk to people. I think if you're interested in take care of the seniors, you can give me a call or just email me. I'm more than happy to share just my experience or my perspective about what it takes to do this kind of work, right? So yeah, just to be out there, give yourself a chance. Don't try to internet or chat GPT everything, right? There's no substitute for talking to real people.
Yeah. Talk to real people. That
Yeah.
is great advice for connection. So are you guys hiring?
Always, always, always. So I have a standout hiring. I have every Thursday, every third Thursday of the month. I have this, fixed window where just block out one most part of the day for ongoing interviews, right? And so but in addition to some ad hoc interviews I do when I suddenly have a opening somewhere. So that's more of a targeted hiring. So yeah, there's no kind of over supply of good caregivers. I'm always on the lookout for good ones because once I find a good caregiver, and then I will tell them that. So now I have your information, right? And I know where you live, what's your limit, and what you're good at. It's my job, it's incumbent upon me to find the right opportunity for you. So I have an anchor piece, right? Think of this as a chess game. There are two pieces. There's the families who need help, and then there's somebody like you who need employment or need to help others. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter which piece comes first. Once I have one piece, then I can start to look out for the other piece.
Yeah. Well, I was highly impressed when you spoke to our group, and I've known you for several years now. So I was like, I've been missing out on all these great things that DJ does. So I am glad that I got the opportunity to hear you speak and have you on the podcast to talk about what you do and how you help seniors live a more fulfilled life. So I appreciate your time this morning. Is there any last piece of advice or any last thing that you'd like to say to the audience before we sign off?
Well, first, thanks so much for the wonderful opportunity just to share just my experience perspective about the senior market. Again, seniors in our community, they're growing. Okay, the baby boomers that get older, we'll all one day get there, right? So that's why I feel super passionate about figure out a model that works to really help people to maintain their dignity. Yeah, so I guess the most important to recognize there's so much need in our community. And there's so many families who just need this extra little help. And as a country, we have a huge shortage of quality caregivers. And it turned out that the seniors themselves are the most underemployed population segment. So we can really leverage the abundance of seniors in our community to take care of other seniors. So that's exactly what we do because, yeah, it's a real win-win situation for everybody involved.
Yeah, it definitely is. And again, thank you so much. And I appreciate having you on. And if you guys want to reach DJ, he's Seniors Helping Seniors. Is your website different? Because I know this is a franchise, right? So how do they find you?
Yeah, so it's a franchise business. So each of our franchises have their own website. So mine is, since my first territory is Garland, so my website is shsgarland.com, or if your email is djhelpingseniors@gmail.com.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you again.
Thank you, Kirsty. Bye.